Hello, Panthers Nation. Hi, everyone. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Shakir. I'm the Sports Guy Show, and it's Tuesday, February 25, 2025. Right now, 8 o'clock Eastern Time. We had today in Indianapolis Coach Dave Canales and Panthers General Manager Dan Morgan spoke to the media as part of media availability at the NFL Combine. And in this video, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to give my take after watching what Dan Morgan and Coach Dave Canales said, and also speak to you guys in general about the Carolina Panthers as they are heading to free agency. And before that, we'll have the NFL Combine, and after that, we'll have the NFL Draft. So, regarding the Carolina Panthers, General Manager Dan Morgan spoke first to the media around 1:15. Coach Dave Canales then spoke to the media around 2:15, and also Coach Canales was on WFNZ and the Kyle Bailey show on WFNZ Sport Radio in Charlotte. And General Manager Dan Morgan was on Charlotte Vibe YouTube channel for an exclusive one-on-one interview with host Chris Jenkins. So, as far as the Carolina Panthers, Dan Morgan said a lot today. And so, good evening. Welcome to the show, talking about Carolina Panthers. So, as far as the Carolina Panthers go, Dan Morgan said a lot, so did Dave Canales. And the biggest takeaway from both Canales and Morgan press conference, they're going to address the defense. But more importantly, they are going to be aggressive. The Carolina Panthers will be aggressive in free agency. Hey, good evening, guys. We're talking about Carolina Panthers. Please hit the like button, subscribe, watch the videos and all of that. I will have more Carolina Panthers video coming up and more videos in general. So please hit the like button, subscribe, and share with friends and family, anyone who likes sport, like food, like cooking, all of that. They should definitely come and watch my channel and subscribe. So, speaking about the Carolina Panthers, so was distracted by the comments. So speaking about the Carolina Panthers, ladies and gentlemen, so so as I said, they're going to be aggressive in free agency. They are going to be pretty aggressive in free agency. Also, Charlotte Vibe on the Charlotte Vibe YouTube channel, Chris Jenkins, Dan Morgan potentially stated the breaking news, and that is the Carolina Panthers are not going to trade up in the first round. So at the moment, the Carolina Panthers hold the 8th pick, which, as a result of the comment by Dan Morgan, we can eliminate, unfortunately, unless a miracle happens, which miracles can happen even in sport. Abdul Kader dropping to 8, Travis Hunter dropping to 8, and even potentially Mason Graham. Because, ladies and gentlemen, when we are looking at the draft, this coming draft, unfortunately, it's not very strong, very deep, quarterback wise in the first round, which kind of make it frustrating for Carolina Panthers fans, and for the Carolina Panthers more importantly than the Panthers fans, Because in this draft, being deep quarterback, first round, you could potentially have someone like Abdul Kader, Travis Hunter, Mason Graham dropping to around where the Panthers are going to pick. But unfortunately, it's not a deep quarterback class. Now, of course, the combine can change that. And then when the combine, NFL combine change all of that, we could we could potentially see another quarterback coming up in the first round, very early in the first round, which will give the Carolina Panthers more options. But right now, as I'm speaking to you, ladies and gentlemen, February 25th, 2025, 8:06 p.m., basically, we are looking at potentially two quarterbacks going in the five, top five to top eight pick before the Panthers pick. I'm talking about Cam Ward and Shador Sanders. Those two, those two, I anticipate that they will be going very early. Now, Tennessee won their first overall pick. They might go with Cam Ward, but they might also go with Abdul Kader. So let's play quick NFL draft, mock draft, right here on the show. Let's say, ladies and gentlemen, Tennessee go with Cam Ward. The second pick, second overall pick, Cleveland Browns. The Browns, I expect the Cleveland Browns to go with Shador Sanders, but maybe they will go with Travis Hunter. Then we have the third pick, which belongs to the New York Giants. Let's say Sanders and Cam Ward are already off the board. Then they will probably go with Mason Graham, Abdul Kader. Let's say they go with Mason Graham. The fourth pick belongs to the Pats. The Pats, Abdul Kader. They will definitely go with Abdul Kader. They will definitely go with Abdul Kader because the Giants went with Mason Graham. The fifth pick belonged to the Jags. The Jags, they might take the wide receiver from Arizona State, Theo McNinett. I'm probably not pronouncing his name correctly. So they might go with him. They might go with that wide receiver. And then, my friend, we have the Raiders. The Raiders already took quarterback off the board. So what do they do? They do the sixth pick. So they take potentially Marcel Walker from Georgia. Do they take Will Johnson, the cornerback? What does the Jets, pardon me, what does the Raiders do? Or do they trade down? And then let's say they take Will Johnson. We know the Jets need edge rushers and they pick seven. So they might go with Markel Walkers, which in that case, it's absolutely worst case scenario for the Carolina Panthers. So that is why I'm saying, ladies and gentlemen, that is why I'm saying, ladies and gentlemen, this is the type of a draft that it's fantastic. Fantastic that you don't need a quarterback. And the Carolina Panthers don't need a quarterback. Which we are going to share the stream on Twitter again. So we had to share the stream, and I'm back to share the stream on Twitter. Hopefully, let's make sure. Yeah, I'm back. So sorry about that. I had to share the stream to get more people to find out about this exciting Carolina Panthers show. So my point is, ladies and gentlemen, my point is, my friend, the big questions in the room, Carolina Panthers, who do you take if Markel Walker is gone? Who do you take if Abdul Carter is gone? Who do you take if Mason Graham is gone? We know that you're not going to take a quarterback. Do you take potentially Mike Green from Marshall University? Is that potentially who will you take? Mike Green from Marshall? That is a big question, which I think we will probably find out the answer through what the Carolina Panthers do in free agency. That is something that we will definitely find out what they will do in free agency, because Dan Morgan, Dave Canales, they both said we want to address the defense, free agency. They clearly stated we want to address the defense. We want to get better interior edge rusher. We want to stop the run. They also talk about special team, which couple of players that I found interesting, ladies and gentlemen, that the Carolina Panthers, Dan Morgan, did not mention that they had conversation with their agent and that they are intending to bring them back. Number one, Ian Thomas, which I don't believe they should bring back Ian Thomas. But nonetheless, Dan Morgan did not mention Ian Thomas. Number two, Sam Franklin, special team player. I'm surprised Dan Morgan did not mention, oh, we want to bring back Sam Franklin. That kind of caught me off guard. Then Mike Jackson. I'm surprised Dan Morgan did not mention anything about bringing back Mike Jackson. I thought he's going to say, we're intending to bring him back. We spoke to his agent. Nothing. Absolutely no comment from Dan Morgan regarding Mike Jackson. Absolutely zero comment. Then so we already talked about Ian Thomas. We already talked about Michael Jackson. And the biggest elephant in the room that Dan Morgan did not mention at all, which I'm shocked. I'm absolutely shocked. Now, maybe he didn't mention him because none of the media members asked him the question. Who knows? But nonetheless, I'm shocked, my friends, that Dan Morgan did not mention we want to bring back Brady Christensen. Now, between Cade Mays, who is a restricted free agent, and Brady Christensen, in my opinion, Brady Christensen is the much better player than Cade Mays. Cade Mays is a good player, and he played pretty well last year at starting center when Austin Colbert went down. But at the same time, if I had to choose between Brady Christensen or Cade Mays, I would choose Brady Christensen because he's more reliable. While Cade Mays is a good player, reliability, I take Brady Christensen over Cade Mays. The problem is Brady Christensen is looking for a starting contract type of a player, type of a money, which I don't believe that the Carolina Panthers can afford to give him the money that he's looking for. Even though, without a doubt, Brady Christensen deserves it. In my opinion, he's not going to be back. Unfortunately, I don't think Brady Christensen will be back in Carolina. I think he's going to sign somewhere else. Well, he will probably be starting tackle or maybe guard. I don't think he's going to be going back to center position. They played him in Carolina center because they didn't have true backup center when Austin Colbert went down. So that is number one. What? Let's say they bring back Cade Mays. Do you bring back Austin Colbert at a reduced price, or do you look to draft a young center in the draft, potentially in the 6th or 7th round? My opinion, depending on the price. Depending on the price, as far as Austin Colbert, then they mentioned Miles Sanders, which Miles Sanders is going to be 28 years old at the start of the season. The question is, can they work out a good deal with Miles Sanders that will lower his cap room substantially? Otherwise, is out of field Miles Sanders. And unfortunately for Carolina Panthers fans, we were hoping that they were going to target a true number one wideout in free agency, which they might work out a trade for Deebo Samuel, but I doubt it. And here's why: because they have so many other needs to address on the defensive end, and unfortunately in the NFL, you don't have unlimited cap room space. Now, the encouraging part for the Carolina Panthers, they have Brett Tillis. Brett Tillis is the NFL cap magician, is a genius as far as the NFL cap room go. So they will definitely have the cap space needed to go ahead and spend money. Now, I did find it also very interesting that in the press conference, you know who Dan Morgan and Dave Canales mentioned that they consulted with? You know who they did not mention that they consult with? They both of them mentioned that they are talking to Brett Tillis, Dan Morgan, Dave Canales. The three of them are consulting. They did not mention anything about, oh, we are speaking to Mr. Teppel. Oh, we are speaking to Mrs. Teppels. Oh, we are speaking every day to David Teppel. Oh, we are speaking every day to Nicole Teppel. We have talked to David and to Nicole on an everyday basis on what we are going to do in free agency, what we are going to do in the draft, who we are scouting, who we have not. They have not mentioned any of those things. So for anyone saying David and Nicole Teppel are meddling, absolutely not. Not anymore, at least. They might have in the past. But definitely, my friend, not anymore. Because had they were meddling, you would have heard, ladies and gentlemen, today from Dan Morgan at the very least, or even Dave Canales, both of them. We have talked to Mr. Teppel. We have talked to Mrs. Teppels. We have talked to them about the free agency plan, who we want to sign, who we want to keep. None whatsoever. So they are definitely not meddling anymore. They've probably stepped aside, which is fantastic, which is absolutely fantastic, ladies and gentlemen. And then, regarding the Shaq Thompson move, here's my opinion. Shaq Thompson, first, is a great person off the field. But none to his fault, the last 2 years, he could not stay healthy. And then the third part, Shaq Thompson even when he was healthy, his numbers were good, but not great. And this is no knock on Shaq Thompson, but it's just a reality because he was drafted to Carolina as a rookie, playing along Luke Kuechly, Hall of Fame, NFL Hall of Fame, even though he wasn't voted in, yet he is an NFL Hall of Fame for all intents and purposes. He played next to also Thomas Davis, NFL Hall of Fame, going to be voted in a couple of years from now. So it's very difficult to step into a situation when you are playing next to two Hall of Famers and you are a good player, but you cannot put up the great numbers like they have. They have done that. Like Luke and TD every year when they were healthy, at least 100 tackles. And Shaq Thompson, like I said, a good player, a great dude off the field, a great person off the field, but at what cost? At what cost do you bring him back? Because you have so many other needs. And this is just a fantasy Carolina Panthers wish list, which I don't think it will happen, but who knows? Maybe it will happen. Defensive end, give me Nicole Boltman, middle linebacker from the Kansas City Chiefs, and give me either Milton Williams, defensive tackle, or defensive edge, pass rusher from the Eagles, Josh Sweat. Give me both of them, and I guarantee you, ladies and gentlemen, next year the Carolina Panthers will probably have top 5 defense. And then the question is, earlier today, the Washington Commanders, it was announced that they are open to trading All-Pro defensive tackle Jonathan Allen. Now, don't get me wrong. Jonathan Allen is one heck of a player. He really is. But the question is, he's 30 years old. He's back end of his career. Do you dare trade for him if you're the Carolina Panthers? Or you spend your money, free agency, and getting younger players such as Milton Williams, maybe Josh Sweat, maybe Nicole Boltman, maybe getting another cornerback. In my opinion, even though Jonathan Allen is an all-pro defensive tackle, I'm not taking a chance. I'm not taking a chance because I know I have so many other areas in the defense to address. I mean, at the moment, safety-wise, the Carolina Panthers have just Demari Richardson on the roster. Of course, I'm expecting that they will bring back Sam Franklin, special team man, who is also a backup safety. And then what you're going to do elsewhere at safety? Do you try to bring back Xavier Wood? Do you go after James Franklin? Pardon me, Justin Simmons, former Falcons player, safety, who used to play for Gerneral Vera back in Denver. Of course, you don't bring back under any circumstance Nick Scott or Jordan Fuller because they definitely was a disaster. And then what do you do in cornerback? You already have Shaw Smith, Wade, and the roster and JC Horn. The question is, what else do you do? Do you bring back Mike Jackson? Or do you go into the draft? Or do you go into the draft? Do you go into the draft and do all of that? So it's a big question. It's a big question. And the Carolina Panthers have to think deep about what they're going to do. They have a lot of decisions to make. And the question is, what are they going to do? But honestly, let's all be grateful that the Carolina Panthers have a franchise starting quarterback in Bryce Young. Because right now, if they not have a franchise starting quarterback in Bryce Young, they would be an hell of a problem, ladies and gentlemen. They would really would have been. Because this is not the type of a draft you can find a franchise quarterback. You can find very good quarterback, but I don't believe you can find a franchise quarterback in free agency. I mean, who would you sign? Justin Field? Justin Field is unproven quarterback. Would you try? Would you trade for Matthew Stafford, who's 39 years old, approaching 40? Would you sign Russell Wilson, who is also approaching 27 years old? So basically, this is a great year draft wise if you don't need a quarterback. If you need a quarterback, I feel bad for you. I really do. Because it's going to be difficult to find your next franchise quarterback. Now you could find a very good quarterback, but I don't believe you will find a franchise changing type of a quarterback. And as far as free agency go, I'm excited. I'm pretty damn excited to see the Carolina Panthers, what they do, what they don't do. And I won't be shocked between now and start of free agency, which starting in early March. Don't be shocked if we see some restructures, some players being cut. And don't be shocked, ladies and gentlemen, when free agency begin, when NFL free agency begin, that you will see the Carolina Panthers made a big signing. That is my prediction. Free agency, they will make at least one big signing early on. With this, we will all have to stay tuned and find out. And you better bet, ladies and gentlemen, when big news for the Carolina Panthers break, yours truly, Shaked, the Sports Guy Show, will have a full breakdown, full analysis of the latest regarding the Carolina Panthers, which you can only find, ladies and gentlemen, on my channel. Non-opinion, non-bias, honesty, and telling you the truth about the Carolina Panthers. Sometimes it will be fantastic, exciting news, and sometimes it will be really bad, unpleasant Carolina Panthers news. Nonetheless, I'm going to share with you my opinion, my take, and I want to know, Panthers Nation, how's your vibe? How are you feeling after listening to Dave Canales and Dan Morgan? Honestly, I'm hype up. I'm hype up because this team, hey, good evening, because this team is ready to make some moves in free agency. And that really excites me. They're ready to make some moves in the draft, even though they won't be trading up in the first round, which is disappointing to me. But it's not a year that you need a quarterback, so I can understand, even though it would be fantastic to draft. Thank you, I appreciate it. Really do. We're talking about Carolina Panthers. Talking about Carolina Panthers NFL talk. Wearing my favorite quarterback, Bryce Young jersey. If you have anything to say about the Carolina Panthers, J Clips, please ask me. Please ask me in the comment. Love to answer any questions regarding the Carolina Panthers. I hope they are, because last season we finished 5-12. But the previous year, we only won 2 games. 2 games was embarrassing. Was absolutely embarrassing. And we have a franchise quarterback in Bryce Young. We have pretty good offense overall. We have great coach in Dave Canales. We have great, very good general manager Dan Morgan. One, Bryce Young. Bryce Young. Bryce Young is my favorite Carolina Panthers player. In part, because he seemed like a great guy. Now, don't get me wrong, Jake Lips and everyone else. All of them definitely seem like fantastic dudes off the field. Great people. But I like Bryce Young. I I like Bryce Young probably because he's very close to my eye. Bryce Young is 5'10", but I think he's probably closer to 5'8". I'm 5'8". So I like him. I'm pulling for him. He's definitely an outstanding person off the field. And on the field, I'm so proud of him making such a great stride, going from potentially being a bust to being a franchise starting quarterback. The Panthers, Bryce Young is wearing number 9. Bryce Young is wearing jersey number 9. And Jake Lipson, my favorite number, 18 and 11. 11 is Jalen Cockles, undrafted wide receiver from Holy Cross. That is number 18. Number 11, I don't remember on top of my head who is number 11. In the back, I have another player who I think will be very good this coming season. Xavier Legette, number 17, from South Carolina. And Jay Clips and everyone else, please make sure to hit the like button right here. Thank you, I appreciate it. I really do. Please make sure to hit the like button. Make sure to tell a friend, family, because this channel is growing. Carolina Panthers Talk. This is where you can find it. And let's as Jake Clips rightly said, let's help me get famous in the right way. How do we do it, ladies and gentlemen? By watching my videos. The more you watch, the more it helps the algorithm. How do you also help my channel, ladies and gentlemen? By sharing my broadcast. Sharing my broadcast on Twitter, on MySpace, on Facebook, on Twitch. Wherever you want to share it, feel free to share it. Because the more people share my broadcast, it will help the algorithm grows. So I really appreciate everyone who's subscribing. I really appreciate everyone who's tuning in. Now let's make my channel famous. Let's make Shaked famous again. For the right reason only. Of course, we are talking about making me famous only for the right reason. Thank you, I appreciate it, but I really appreciate that compliment. But let's talk about the Carolina Panthers, if you don't mind. I mean, I really appreciate the compliments, Jay Clips, and I appreciate you liking my videos and subscribing and all of that. But it's just, I'm trying to focus tonight on this live on the Carolina Panthers NFL talk. Because today, earlier, Coach Dave Canales, General Manager Dane Morgan spoke, and they shared a lot. And one thing that is kind of interesting. Good evening, Brandon. Hope you're doing well. So, my opinion on Shaq Thompson is a great guy off the field. Unfortunately, he could not stay healthy the last 2 years. NFL is a business. Shaq Thompson, if I'm not mistaken, is approaching the age of 30 years old, which for NFL players, it's an old age, relatively. Even though now they can play and still they are 40, which just today, all pro, all of famer Thank you. I appreciate it. I really do. I just started doing a lot of more videos and all of the fun stuff on YouTube, like in the last month, really growing my channel. So I really do. So please, J Clips, share it with everyone. Share my channels with everyone. And let's get me to 5,000 subscribers and 100,000 views before too long. But anyway, regarding the Panthers. So my opinion regarding Shaq Thompson, it was the right decision. Absolutely the right decision. I mean, as I mentioned earlier in the video, which you can watch replay ladies and gentlemen, later on after the video ends, probably tomorrow night. So basically, ladies and gentlemen, regarding Shaq Thompson, to answer the Brandon Pope question, regarding Shaq, he's a great guy off the field. On the field, he could not stay healthy. And let's be honest, when he stayed healthy, his numbers were not great. They were good, but not great. And part of the reason why, in my opinion, they were not great is because, on one hand, Shaq Thompson was a good, pretty good linebacker, but he wasn't as good as Luke Kuechly, Thomas Davis, because Shaq Thompson was drafted in 2015 when Luke Kuechly, TD, Thomas Davis, two Hall of Famers, played in their prime. So it's difficult to ask Shaq Thompson to put consistently 100 plus tackles every year. Because, yeah, he's a good player. He's a very good player. But the problem is, yeah, I agree. Ian Thomas, overrated. Completely overrated player. I mean, do you remember, Brandon, when Ian Thomas was drafted? And I believe he was drafted under Ron Rivera, if I remember correctly. And the notion about Ian Thomas being drafted from Maryland, if I remember correctly, Ian Thomas, the Carolina Panthers, drafted a catching tight end, pass catching tight end. Honestly, thank you, J Clips. We'll have more videos tomorrow. Yeah, Indiana, my bad. Same color. I mean, both are red, Indiana and Maryland, which is why I was confused. They're both red. But honestly, as far as catching wise, even though yours truly, I never played football in my life, I can probably catch more touchdown passes than Ian Thomas. Ian Thomas, even when he was wide open, he had drop, pass, pass, drop, pass. Do you guys remember, ladies and gentlemen, the game against the Falcons, home game, the Panthers lost very late. In the fourth quarter, Andy Dalton made a perfect throw on the money. Right side. And guess who could not put his body on the line and catch the ball? Ian Thomas. It was interception by AJ Terrell. So Ian Thomas, a great guy, I'm sure, off the field. On the field, just a bust. Unfortunately, it's just a bust. Didn't work out in Carolina. Maybe it will work out somewhere else, but definitely not in Carolina. And then Eddie Pinheiro, Eddie P. Seemed like a great guy off the field. I don't know him personally or anything like that. But he's not a good kicker. He's not a good kicker. Well, Brandon, the title of the show tonight saying Carolina Panthers General Talk. So I have no comment on something that is non-related to the Carolina Panthers. But regarding Eddie Pinheiro, Eddie P, he's a good kicker, but he's not great kicker. He really is not a great kicker, in my opinion, Eddie Pinheiro. I mean, last year, when the NFL did not change their rules, guess who could not kick it deep? Time after time, Eddie Pinheiro. So many short kickoffs. And that was before the NFL changed the rules. Eddie Pinheiro leg was not strong behind 50 yards, which in this day of age, ladies and gentlemen, you should make 50-yard field goal. If you cannot make a 50-yard field goal as a kicker, you shouldn't be on the team. And of course, they tried it with Harrison Melvis from Mizzou, but he was inconsistent, so he didn't make the team. They signed about a week ago Matthew Wright from the Chiefs. Used to play for the Chiefs, then they released him when Harrison Buckner was back. So I definitely don't anticipate Eddie Pinheiro coming back. And as far as tight end go, I wouldn't mind if they bring back at reasonable price Tommy Trimble, or as I like to call him, Tommy the Tigers. He's great because Tommy the Tigers. But don't be surprised. Let's say they address the defense, the entire defense, free agency. I will get to that in a second. Let's say they address the entire defense free agency. I won't be surprised if they draft Adam Warren, the tight end out of Penn State, with the 8th overall pick. Because he has a chance to be tremendous. You really do. And then Morgan Olier, guys, exclusively on Charlotte Vibe, Chris Jenkins channel. Not the Chris Jenkins who used to play for Maryland and former defensive tackle for the Panthers, but different Chris Jenkins. Then Morgan stated, we are not going to trade up in the first round. So the question is, can we cross off the list of fantasy wish list for the Panthers? Abdul Carter, Travis Santel, Mason Graham. And let's say all three are gone before the Panthers pick. What do you do then? Do you take Mikel Walker? Do you take Mike Green? Do you take Adam Warren? Do you take the wide receiver from Arizona State, Tate McNannon? I'm probably pronouncing his name correctly, Tate McNannon. Do you take potentially one of the running back, either a James Schoonable from Arizona State, or Ashton Gentry from Boise State? So you have a lot of decision. And as far as Sam Franklin go, I think he's a good player. I wouldn't mind to bring him back, honestly, but at what the price, what the cost. I mean, I think Sam Franklin is a tremendous special team player, but I wouldn't want Sam Franklin starting on defense. Because if Sam Franklin starts on defense, we have a lot of problems. Which Dan Morgan did not mention today anything about Sam Franklin. Did not mention anything about bringing back Sam Franklin. He did not mention anything about bringing back Michael Jackson. or Mike Jackson. He did not mention anything about bringing back Michael Jackson, but he also did not mention anything about bringing back Mike Jackson. Also, he did not mention anything about bringing back Brady Christensen because I believe Brady Christensen is looking for starters type of money, which I don't blame him because he's a great player. And I won't be surprised if Brady Christensen is looking to be signed either as a tackle or a guard. I don't think we'll see Brady Christensen play center anymore. Even though he can do that, that is not his primary position, ladies and gentlemen. And ladies and gentlemen, if you're a Panthers fan, please hit the like button. Please hit the like button. Please subscribe. Share with everyone. Share with Panthers Nation. I've been on for 46 minutes, ladies and gentlemen. The very least you guys can do, hit the like button. Share the channel with everyone. Share with everyone, please. Let's help the channel grow. Let's help me become famous for the right way hosting daily Carolina Panthers show on YouTube. And I agree Sam is a dog, Brendan, but Sam is a safety. Pardon me, Sam is a special teamer, which you need someone like that, but at what cost? And I didn't touch on it on Johnny Aker, which I like Johnny. He seemed like a great dude off the field. All of them seem like great people off the field. But honestly, this year compared to last season, his productions dropped substantially. The prior year, his numbers were very good, punting-wise. This year, not so much. Not so much. So I bring it back if I cannot find a replacement. But I said it before, I'm excited for free agency. I really am. Because if you guys remember, when we had Dave Canales, general manager, NFL Combine press conference, Dave Canales stated, listen, we are going to shop at Goodwill. We cannot shop at Tiffany. We can only shop at Goodwill. Year after year, Goodwill. We'll only shop at Goodwill. We cannot go to the mall. We can only go to Goodwill. Which nothing wrong with Goodwill. But the NFL standards, if your general manager is talking about Goodwill, free agency, it means they don't have a lot of cap room. And the Carolina Panthers have the NFL cap genius, Brett Tillis. Because one thing Dan Morgan said today, we are going to be aggressive. We are going to be aggressive. We are going to try to make the defense great in free agency and the draft. And my fantasy wish list for the Panthers, let me know, you guys, if you agree with me or not. And if you watch the replay, you can comment down below. My fantasy wish list for defense, Carolina Panthers, Nicole Boltman and Josh Sweat or Milton Williams. Give me Nicole Boltman. Give me Josh Sweat or Milton Williams. And I'm going to be extremely happy. And then safety, if it's affordable, Justin Simmons. Why Justin Simmons? Because Justin Simmons, prior to last year, used to play in Denver. Guess who was the defensive coordinator for the Broncos? Ejiro Rivera. So you give me Milton Williams or Josh Sweat, Nicole Boltman. We're talking about, ladies and gentlemen, about the defense that I'm not exaggerating. we are probably talking about the top 10 defense in the NFL. Because Nicole Boltman is one of the best middle linebacker in the NFL. Guess who Nicole Boltman played for? The Kansas City Chiefs. Brad Canales was assistant under general manager for the Chiefs. He is very familiar with Nicole Boltman. I'm sure we can negotiate a good deal. A good deal to bring Nicole Boltman to Carolina. Then you're talking about Josh Sweat or Milton Williams, which, if I'm not mistaken, Milton Williams is from South Carolina. So you bring Milton Williams or Josh Sweat, you bring Nicole Boltman, and you have one heck of a defense. You have dogs on the defense. You have pit bulls on the defense because they are aggressive. They are aggressive defense. So then you bring Justin Simmons, and oh my gosh, that defense combined with Derrick Brown, Trevor Wallace, and the other guys, J.C. Owen. We are talking about, ladies and gentlemen, about an unstoppable defense. A defense that you could not stop from getting to your quarterback. So that is my wish list. Justin Simmons, Milton Bradley, and Milton Williams, pardon me, not Milton Bradley. Milton Bradley, former Major League Baseball player, unrelated. Milton Williams, Josh Sweat, Nicole Boltman. Give me 2 out of 3. And we are talking about the defense that resemble the 2013 team, the 2014 team, maybe the 2015 team, that can get sacks, that can stop the run, that can get Panthers fans on their feet, make some noise for the defense. And the stadium, Bank of America Stadium, is rocking out of excitement. So I feel like we, in a year from now, we will be talking about NFC South championship team and looking to build in free agency into the draft, going to the Super Bowl. This is probably not the year that the Carolina Panthers will make the Super Bowl, but this is definitely the year that the Carolina Panthers can and should win the NFC South. And after hearing Canales and Morgan, I am pretty damn excited about the Carolina Panthers heading to the 25 season. I'm so excited that I'm losing my voice, ladies and gentlemen, out of excitement. I'm so damn excited about the Carolina Panthers outlook for 2025 season. Why? Because we have the right place in the organization. Dan Morgan, Brad Canales, Dave Canales. The 3 of them are going to take Panthers fans, Panthers Nation to the promised land. And if you are not, my finishing thought, if you are not on the Carolina Panthers bandwagon to make the playoff 2025, to win the NFC South, well, you should jump on it before it's too late. Because once it's too late, we don't accept bandwagons, fans. So you should jump on it before it's too late, because I'm predicting the Carolina Panthers will win the NFC South in 2025. And you can book it, ladies and gentlemen. You can absolutely book it. That is a prediction. That is not a bold prediction. That is an accurate prediction by yours truly.